You know, folks, I catch myself saying this a whole lot these days, but I truly don't care what side of the aisle someone is on politically. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat, conservative, progressive, whatever you want to call yourself. I really don't care. But you do got to admit that some things are just flat out weird. And the Trump worship in this world has always just been weird to me because I've said many times here on the channel that I have talked politics for as long as I can remember. I was the nerdy kid talking it to his grandpa when I was in grade school. Okay. I remember the Bush Dukakis election of '88. I was 8 years old. And I remember the conversations that my grandparents had and my parents had going into that election. And I remember following every one of them. And as I got older, I began to get more deeper and deeper into politics. And then when I got it on my own and I'm having to live and survive in this world, I'm really deep into politics. And I've talked here on the channel before how that I had an uncle named Brad who was a massive influence on me. I had a history teacher, Mr. Baker, who was another big influence on me back in those days. And I would go over to my Uncle Brad's house and we would watch every debate together. We would sit, I know this sounds funny, a funny relationship for an uncle and a dude to have, but I would literally go over to his house and just watch C-SPAN and just sit and study the numbers on the screen. And we were very political people. We talked about it all the time. We talked it like some people talk sports. As a matter of fact, I don't think I ever had a football conversation with my Uncle Brad. We watched boxing, so we might have talked about Ali and Frazier. But yeah, he wasn't a fan of Mike Tyson, and I was back in those days. We might have had conversations about that, but we never talked about sports. We never talked about anything other than politics and what was going on in government. And during those years, I think back on it. I think back on my uncle who talked it every day. I think back on him. He really didn't have any bumper stickers. He really didn't have any shirts. He really didn't have any hats. I think, I mean, like if you donate to someone's campaign, they might send you a sticker or a button or something like that. He might have had those laying on his kitchen counter. But I don't ever remember seeing him, and he was a hardcore progressive liberal Democrat here in the South, and I don't ever remember seeing him decked out in Bill Clinton gear from head to toe. I don't ever recall him decked out in Hillary Clinton gear from head to toe. I don't even recall him getting all bent out of shape and excited about Barack Obama. I think me and him both got the little Time Life commemorative plate, which no longer sits out on our kitchen counter. But the point I'm making is we didn't go around decked out as politicians, and we sure as fuck did not call them daddy. But MAGA does. And this is a real story in 2025. And some people would say, Brando, why would you take time out of your day to talk about this? This is just weird. Because, folks, we have to keep an eye on just how weird they will be. And we have to realize that that's the level of insanity that we're up against. If we're going to stand up to this level of insanity, we have to understand the type of people they are. They're the type of people that not only would buy a Bible from the guy, not only would buy shitty shoes, not only would buy a picture of his mugshot with the words never surrender, but they'll buy a picture of his face with the word daddy on it. And not only will they buy it, he's the one that will push it to them. And it's fucking weird. So we're going to go here and we're going to read this article here from MidasNews.com. And thank y'all so much for supporting what it is that I do here on the channel. But Trump's fundraising email. They're calling me daddy. Folks, he's actually bragging about this. The man is literally putting this out into the world and he's fundraising off daddy t-shirts. So Trump sent out a bizarre fundraising email Thursday claiming that NATO Secretary Mark Rutte, I guess they say that, had just called him daddy on the world stage. Mark seemed to be saying Trump was acting like daddy, not really calling him daddy. But look at this. This is from Trump Vance. They're calling me daddy. When Biden was president, we were laughed at on the world stage. The whole world walked all over us. And he's got the word laughed and walked all over us highlighted. And I find that to be hilarious considering that he's putting the shirt out into the world and letting these dictators walk all over him. But he says, but thanks to your favorite president, me, in all caps, we are respected once again. Moments ago, NATO Secretary General called me daddy on the world stage. How nice. So for a limited time only, I want you to own the official Trump daddy shirt. And there it is, folks. Claim the daddy shirt. Order now. Please never forget that I wouldn't be here without you. Thanks to you, our country is respected again. Folks, there is no decent... Let me just break away from this article just for a minute, okay? Let's just break away from it just for a minute. I'll jump back in. There is no respectable human being on the planet that respects that shit. Have you ever stepped outside and felt like you were instantly drenched in sweat? Folks, I live here in Tennessee, and trust me, I know all about the heat and humidity. I cannot count the times that I've stepped outside at 7 o'clock in the morning to do my work, and by 7:15, I'm standing there drenched. Recently, I switched to Mando, and now I no longer have those problems. But if you've been struggling with the heat and humidity like I have, then I have some great news. Mando has just launched something that takes sweat control to the next level. Introducing Mando Deodorant Plus Sweat Control Solid Stick. It's double protection. Finally, you get the odor control you love with Mando, plus powerful sweat control. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code Brando at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. Shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. Again, use code Brando at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. Go to shopmando.com and tell them Brando sent you. There is no one outside this country looking in going, wow, I really wished our leader would put his face on a shirt and call himself daddy. No one is envious of us. Everyone now is laughing at that. And I know I'm going to get messages. Hell, I might even read them to you here on the channel. I will get messages from people who will be saying, Brando, we're embarrassed for you. Brando, we're laughing at you. But let's jump back into this article real quick here. Yeah, order now. It's so disgusting. So, thank you, Donald Trump. And there it is. So, the NATO Secretary General explained to reporters that he made the remark in jest and it was being taken out of context. The daddy thing, I didn't call him daddy. What I said is that sometimes in Europe, I hear sometimes countries saying, hey, Mark, will the U.S. stay with us? And I said, that sounds a little bit like a small child asking his daddy, hey, are you still staying with the family? So in that sense, I used daddy. Not that I was calling President Trump daddy. However, Trump seized on those loose comments. How nice, Trump wrote, before launching into a pitch for his supporters to buy an official Trump daddy shirt emblazoned with his face. The message dripping with Trump's signature blend of trolling, bravado, and I can't pronounce that word. I can't even talk today, honestly. Declared that under President Biden, the U.S. was laughed at and walked all over. But thanks to Trump, America is now respected again. The fundraising email is the latest example of Trump's increasingly surreal marketing strategy, turning exaggerated or invented claims into merchandise for his campaign war chest. Branding himself both daddy and the President of the United States, Trump is once again monetizing the spectacle of his administration. And yeah, his whole administration has been nothing but a spectacle. Maga has been nothing but a WWE-like spectacle. And no self-respecting human being would buy that shirt or wear that shirt or call Trump daddy or be proud of that shirt. And no respectable leader, no respectable man would put that out into the world. I promise you, if somewhere someone had referred to Joe Biden, Barack Obama, hell, even Bill Clinton, if someone had referred to any of those men as daddy, they would have never acknowledged it. More than likely, they would have never acknowledged it. And if they were forced into a corner to acknowledge it, they would probably laugh it off and roll on into the issues at hand like they always did. No respectable human being would be for this shit. No respectable human being would wear this shit. But the people who would wear it and the moron that's pushing it are lined up ready to vote. And they think that's respect. They think that's honor. They think people are looking from all over the world and they're jealous and envious of that. That is the type of delusion that these people truly do live in. They live in a delusional alternate reality, folks. Plain and simple. End of story. That's where they're at. But they're fired up and they're ready to go. And that's why that I've said so many times here on the channel, people like us, we have to stick together. We cannot be splitting hairs at this point. We cannot be, kicking people out of our party and throwing away independence and running in circles. We have to get united, and we have to realize that we're not always going to agree on everything. And we sure as hell ain't going to wear shirts that says daddy on it. I don't care who the nominee. I love Jasmine Crockett. Sorry, Jasmine, if you see this video. I'm not wearing a shirt calling you mommy, okay? I love you. I think you're great. You're one of my favorites. Might have a secret crush on you, but I'm not wearing the fucking shirt that says mommy. It's so ridiculous that that's where we're at in 2025, but these people are fired up, and they're a movement that is continuing to have their finger on the pulse. Donald Trump has got his finger on the pulse. He's going to war without Congress's approval. He's running rampant, and he's selling shirts like that. And there are people, there's trolls in this world who loves that kind of shit, and they're excited behind it. We have to stand up to that madness. We have to come together, work together, realize, hey, no matter what, and I'll say this is how I'll close it. No matter what issue you may disagree with the Democrat establishment on, and maybe it's more than one, but whatever that issue is that you're not too happy with the Democrats about, ask yourself, how would Trump and Vance handle that? How would the MAGA movement handle the issue that I'm the most upset about? And whoever I'm mad at in the Democratic establishment, would they ever try to sell me a shirt that says Daddy? That's the question you really have to ask yourself the next time you go to vote.